Those two republics, they are already recognized by a number of states, which are themselves unrecognized states.
Such as?
As we know, Transnistria and Nagorno-Karabakh, Abkhazia and South Ossetia, they recognized each other. They form sort of a bloc within the former Soviet Union. They have this sort of a bloc, but still being recognized by unrecognized states. That means that the whole diplomatic apparatus is, I don't think it's really strong or hardly even existent in these unrecognized states. Once recognized by Russia, those states will start to develop their diplomacy. And if any nation wishes to recognize them as independent states, they will be ready. And that's quite important, I think.
What about Saakashvili? He said he will want to retain his territorial integrity. And fighting talk from Saakashvili, where does that put him now, and Georgia?
He is putting himself in sort of a weak position, but he's playing his weakness. He's playing his weakness as a strong point. He's telling the world that, look, I'm weak, that I must be protected.
So, well, Kirill's absolutely right, and one of the things that's going to happen is, Mr. Saakashvili is a great risk taker, even a tie chewer, but he's very good with media, and he's going to turn this story around and have the world forget how it all started, this scenario, and just say it's just Russian aggression. So I mean, media is going to be fired up right now. Okay, this is breaking news all over the world, and its significance is not left for anyone to misunderstand.
What he's not going to say, though, is that Russia could have done this way before. Russia could have recognized those states like 3 years ago, 4 years ago, even maybe earlier. But why would he will not tell the world why Russia did it exactly today.
Kirill, can I ask you, I mean, Russia's move, I mean, it seems to my mind, is that Medvedev has said, we've tried all the diplomacy we could. We tried to deal with Mr. Saakashvili. We asked him to sign agreements he wouldn't on the non-use of force. Then he caused war. Russia really had little choice. Is that a fair thing to say?
I think so. The thing is that I remember very well that Russia has sent its special envoy to Tbilisi on the day before the war started, actually. Just after our envoy arrived in the Georgian capital, Georgians started offense. So what else can we do? Georgia recalled the ambassador in mid-July, I think, from Moscow, but Russians sent their diplomat to Tbilisi to deal with the situation.
Will Georgians rally around Saakashvili even more now? That's very interesting, because everyone's looking at the fate of Saakashvili because of all of this.
To answer this question, we must look from inside Georgia. Right. And what we see now in Georgia is that the population, I'm going to say quite strong words, but they are pretty much brainwashed. As we know, they do not receive Russian television, for example. Georgian, we do receive CNN and Euronews. We have access to the Western information as well as to the Russian sources of information. Georgians, they don't have that. I don't know what picture is the Georgian population getting.
Can we just look at, if anybody's just joined us now, the reality of the situation is that, in effect, two countries have just been born now. Yes. And those people in those countries are celebrating. In the view of Russia, they are independent countries. What happens now? Obviously, they've been existing in a de facto state for a long time. What is the next process then? Is there going to be Russia will then go ahead, regardless of what the worldwide community says, and say, right, we'll have celebrations and their independence will start almost immediately?
Well, why don't we listen to what Mr. Medvedev had to say? Oh, I'm sorry, we'll get back to it later. But yes, I mean, everyone, like I said, is going to look at this in a very different way on what it means for history and international law.